What is up, New World? Welcome back to the channel that helps animals. My name is Omni, and today we are doing a brief video on Weirdwood and the best New World logging farm routes for it. If you're like me, you unfortunately procrastinated your logging skill in favor of less mind-numbingly boring gathering skills. Unfortunately for us, they have disabled harvesting the elemental wolves, which are far and away the fastest way to farm Weirdwood and or the experience necessary to level logging in New World. I am sure they'll bring harvesting these back, but I have a feeling when they do so, the experience and material gained from them will be probably more balanced. So this video will cover a few general tips about making do during these difficult wolfless times, and also 3 of the best Weirdwood farm routes I have found in New World. Before we get started, I just want to say I appreciate you stopping by to watch, and I genuinely want to hear from you. I'm super responsive in the comments and love hearing everybody's feedback, so be sure to let me know if I left out a Weirdwood spot that you know of, or just say hi. There's a couple things you should consider prior to venturing off into the wilderness. 1. The logging skill takes the second longest of any harvesting skill to master, just behind fishing. This is important because it is something to consider when you're deciding what you want to do in order to expedite the leveling process. Equip yourself accordingly. Yes, an axe with EXP gain on it will cost you, but when you consider that you're going to spend literally 30 hours of your life just chopping down trees, an extra 10% experience on your harvesting tool will save you 3 hours of your life. You can use that time to do something productive. Personally, I spent time reflecting on why I hate myself enough to spend 30 hours of my life chopping down pixelated trees. When you're deciding where to chop trees down, consider the town buffs. If you go into your character bio, you can see all of the active and available buffs by clicking the drop-down menu. Roll through them and be sure to look out for one that indicates any sort of yield bonus for logging. If it is active, it will give you a 20% yield bonus. Also, lean towards faction-controlled zones if possible, since they will give you a luck bonus as well. If you can stack those two on top of each other, you're going to be doing very well. The final thing you should consider is whether or not you need or want other resources along the way. Adjust your location accordingly if you do. I'll put up some other resources in the farming area on each map as we go, with a general location. The first New World logging farm route we're going to go over is a route between 4 different Weirdwood tree locations in Morningdale. You'll exit the town and head east to the first trees, and after that drop down the cliff to the second location. There's a bit of a distance to cover between the second and third Weirdwood trees, and unfortunately there's not a whole lot in between them. There's a bit of iron on the mountain to your west, and some berries and herbs here and there, but this route is not great if you want or need anything other than Weirdwood. Even the other trees are somewhat sparse until you get up into the third and fourth areas. After you get to these last 2, I recommend you hang around there for at least 5 to 8 minutes chopping the other trees down in order to allow for the Weirdwood to respawn. Then you just start the route all over again. The yield from this route is pretty decent, but the next route I do like a little bit better because it allows me to do 2 very productive things at one time. The second New World logging farm route is in Great Cleave. This one is a little light on the yield, but there is another big reason to be here. Faction tokens. Literally everyone needs faction tokens and needs them by the boatload. And when you really start to look at what separates good and mediocre players in these MMOs, generally one of those things is very effective time management. Doing 2 things you need to do anyway all at one time is huge, even if one of the 2 suffers a bit in efficiency. I also have a video on how to farm these faction tokens as well. Specifically, if you're interested in that, it should pop up right above us now. This spot is one of the 3 highlighted in that video. The logging farm route is super easy also. You just go up the road and collect the trees to the right side of the road just prior to the T intersection, and then you find more in the field once you cross that T intersection. There's also a bunch of lodestone in the area to the north and also to the east, some tier 5 reagent nodes, and then a bunch of earthcrag to the south near the town, so it's a pretty productive location in general for just general farming purposes. The final New World logging farm location we are going to go over is going to be Bronze Grove. This is located in Brightwood. This place is great with wolves, but it's still good without them. It has the highest concentration of weirdwood trees in the game, and the area is also peppered with other resources as well. It's pretty straightforward also in that all you do is go in one end of the cave, do a loop, come out the other end, and then hit the other cave for another loop. Chop everything down inside that you see, and eventually you'll want to head south of the cave to chop down the thicker forested areas while you wait for the weirdwood to respawn. Inside of the caves, you'll find gold, silver, and a significant amount of star metal as well. There are two problems with this location. One, it's very popular, so you'll often get there and trees will either be partially or completely gone. And two, the trees here are also somewhat small compared to the trees in the other areas as well, so while there are more of them, the amount of XP and yield feels somewhat close to the other spots without being able to harvest the wolves. At every major sub interval, this channel will always donate to local animal shelters. We donated $200 to 4 Paws at 500 subs, and next up is 1,000. Also, if you're in New World and just don't have a company to call home yet, feel free to reach out. We are currently on US East on the Brazier server, and you can find that Discord information in the comments or description below. Well, that's it everybody. Hope you have a great day, and until next time.